All right, let's talk about something huge. As AI gets smarter and smarter, what happens to, well, us, to our jobs? It's a question a lot of people are asking. And one potential answer sounds pretty radical: universal basic income. So, is this the solution we've been looking for? Let's get into it.
Okay, I want you to just think about this number for a second. 60%. Yeah, that's a big one. According to the IMF, that's how many jobs in developed countries, we're talking the US, Europe, could be hit by AI. And when I say hit, I mean seriously impacted. This isn't just a little ripple, you guys. It's a potential earthquake for the entire job market. And look, this time it's different. I mean, really different. We're not just talking about robots in a factory anymore. The AI wave that's coming, it's hitting creative jobs, white-collar jobs. Think consultants, marketers, even coders. This is a massive shift, and it's coming for pretty much every corner of our economy. So, if we've got this huge challenge staring us down, what's the plan? Well, one of the biggest and maybe most controversial ideas out there is something called a universal basic income, or UBI for short. And believe me, this isn't some fringe concept anymore. It's jumped right into the mainstream conversation. So what exactly is UBI? Well, what makes it so different is right there in the name: universal. It's for everyone. It's not like the welfare systems we have now with all the hoops to jump through. With UBI, it's simple. Everyone gets a regular payment, no matter if you're a CEO or you're out of work. No conditions, no strings attached.
Let's put some real numbers on this to make it less abstract. You probably remember Andrew Yang talking about this during his presidential run, right? He called it the freedom dividend. His proposal was $1,000 a month for every American adult. And suddenly, boom, UBI wasn't just this weird academic idea anymore. It was something you could actually picture hitting your bank account every month. And hey, this conversation has been building for a while. Way back in 2016, even Barack Obama was talking about it. He basically predicted that automation and AI would force us to have this exact debate about, well, unconditional free money, as he put it. That just goes to show you this has been on the radar of some very serious people for a long time. Now, you can probably guess that an idea this massive sparks a huge debate. I mean, is this some kind of utopia in the making? A way to build a fairer society? Or is it a total disaster waiting to happen? Let's dive into both sides of the argument. Okay, so here's the breakdown, the real tug of war. On one hand, you have the supporters. They're saying UBI would be a huge boost to the economy, right? You put money directly into people's pockets, they're going to spend it. They say it could slash poverty and give people the breathing room to, I don't know, start that business they've always dreamed of. But then you've got the other side. And their concerns are pretty serious. We're talking about the insane cost, the risk of runaway inflation. And the big one, would people just stop working? Would we lose our sense of purpose? And this really brings the pro argument to life. This person on Reddit makes a fantastic point. For them, UBI isn't about getting a handout so you can quit your job. It's about freedom. It's about empowering people, especially someone with a disability who might find it hard to commute but could crush it with an online business. It's about giving them a better choice than the system we have now. But then you flip the coin, and you get this really powerful counterpoint. This isn't just about economics. It's about what it means to be human. This user hits on something deep. For so many of us, a job is our identity. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning. It gives us purpose. And the fear is, if you take away the need to work, what are you left with? Do you accidentally create a whole new kind of problem? Okay, so this is a really interesting debate, right? But the cool thing is, it's not just a what-if scenario anymore. People have actually tried this stuff out. We have real-world data from UBI experiments. So what really happens when you just give people money? The answer is, well, it's probably not what you think. Let's take a look at the big experiment they did in Finland. The results were complicated. On one hand, it didn't really get more people into jobs, which was a letdown for some. But, and this is a huge but, look at what it did do. The people who got the money reported being less stressed. They felt healthier. They had more hope for the future. So maybe, just maybe, we're measuring the wrong thing. Maybe the biggest impact isn't on employment, but on well-being. And we're seeing similar things in studies right here in the US. People who got a guaranteed income actually worked a little bit less. But we're talking about like an hour and a half a week on average. That's it. But here's the critical part. You have to ask why they were working less. And it turns out they weren't just kicking back on the couch. They were using that time to go to college, take care of their kids, or even take a lower-paying job that had a way better future. I mean, listen to this quote from someone who was actually in one of these studies.
It just says it all, doesn't it? That extra cash wasn't a reason to quit. It was a safety net. It was the thing that let them take a risk, a smart risk, on a better career. It's not an incentive to be lazy. It's an incentive to invest in yourself. So all this real-world data starts to push the conversation into a much deeper place. It's not just about dollars and cents anymore. We're forced to ask these huge philosophical questions. If AI is doing all the work and UBI is taking care of our basic needs, what does our society even look like then? We're not just debating a policy here. We're standing at a massive fork in the road for humanity. And here's a really powerful way to think about it: the AI dividend. The idea is simple. Think about what AI is trained on. It's trained on, well, everything. All the books, art, and data that we as a species have ever created. It's our collective knowledge. So the argument goes, when AI creates all this incredible wealth, shouldn't a piece of that come back to everyone? Not as charity, but as our fair share. A dividend on our collective investment. And that really gets to the heart of the matter. Forever, basically, our survival has been tied to having a job. It's how our society is structured. But a world with AI and UBI could be the first time in history where that link is broken. And if that happens, we have to completely rethink what it means to be a productive member of society. And that's the scary part, right? It's the other side of that utopian coin. If our basic needs are met, what do we do? Do we enter this new renaissance of creativity and discovery? Or do we fall into this existential void? What happens when you wake up in the morning and the world doesn't need you to do anything? It's a really deep question about who we are. But maybe, the whole point is to change what we value. This idea of a post-productive society is really interesting. It's a future where work isn't just about what you get paid for. It's a future where we finally recognize that things like raising kids, caring for our parents, creating art, or volunteering, that these things are incredibly productive acts in their own right. They're not just hobbies. They're the glue that holds a healthy society together. So that's where we're at. We're left with this one giant question that AI and UBI are forcing us to look at, right in the eye. If technology takes care of all our needs, what's left for us to do for each other? There's no easy answer here, but it's a question we're all going to have to figure out, and probably sooner than we think. Thanks for digging into this with me.